Hey there, YouTube. Hey man, it's a hot day today in Dallas, as it usually is this time of the year, but I wanted to come outside and make a video. It's quiet. I found a cool place that I know of, but again, it's just straight sun, and it's not nearly as hot as it was in the plus hundreds, but the humidity is like 70-80%, so you're gonna see me sweat. But again, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brian. I drive a 2019 Infiniti Q50S Signature Edition rear-wheel drive. That's what I make videos of primarily. So if you tuned in today, I'm going to talk about my wheels and tires that I added to my car. So stay tuned. Okay, so here is what I think is a beautiful car. Love my Infiniti Q50S Signature Edition 3.0T twin turbo rear wheel drive. Man, I just love this car. Love it more every day that I drive it. I really enjoy waking up and having to get into the car and drive it is just a pleasure. So one thing that I want to address that I've done, or not address, but just discuss in this video, is that my car came with 8.5-inch wheels all the way around. They were black chrome, a tinted black chrome. I loved them. They were gorgeous wheels. I even think a little bit better than these, but I like these too. But the other ones were just so classy and so good looking, and kind of lower the profile of the car, just because these are a little bit taller sidewalls. I had to do it this way because I went with these Nitto NT 555R 2s, and I had to go a little bit taller because they don't offer a bazillion sizes in this tire. So I matched that with the Firestone Indy 500 tire in the front, and that's a 45 series because it's a 245. This is a 275, so they match up at 27.7 diameter, outer diameter, so that matches up, I mean, perfectly, really well. So I've got a good setup here, and these tires offer the ultimate in traction. If you're having traction issues, man, this is the tire to get. And then if you don't have the all-wheel drive, or you just have the rear-wheel drive, then you can go to the Nitto G2s for the front, and they match up perfectly with these Nittos 275 40 19s in the rear, and I think they make a 285 and then a 305, but they change in profile. So before I get too uncomfortable by sitting on my knees, let me bring my camera over here, and I'm going to show you how this fits and talk about the offset and what I found out about offset. So here we go. Okay, hopefully you can see right here. These wheels that I went with are 10 inches wide, and they are 19-inch wheels, and they were, gosh, now I'm drawing a blank, 40 millimeter offset, or 42 millimeter offset, and that's exactly any more than that, depending on, it's going to be kind of dark right here because of the bright sun and the white car for the exposure. But the gap right here, I don't have any suspension modifications, nothing done in the car. It's stock ride height, stock everything except these 10-inch wide wheels. And now, depending on suspension travel, I'm just not real aware of what the suspension travel is on this car. But if it travels up, if I hit a big enough bump or a G out, or get into a parking situation where I got to climb up, up an kind of an odd angle, and one tire hangs and the other one gets up in here, I think it's going to rub, just slightly rub. This curves in just a little bit right here. The 285 tire would probably, have more tire in this position here, so it would definitely rub. But 10 inches on this car, 10-inch wide wheel I would go no less. I mean, 40 is maybe even on my car with this wheel, how the back of this wheel is designed right here in the hub area. I would go I wouldn't be able to do it with a plus 20 offset, or a plus 30, or a 35, or a 38. And possibly not even a 40. So I want to just let you see that. This is my experience. This is real close. I mean, it is, so close to where, I'm good for the most part, but if I really get into a situation where I use that suspension, I just don't know how much more suspension's left, at this point. If I only have 2 inches left and it bottoms out, then, it may not get up to that fender, but, yeah. So the front offset was perfect. I'm thinking, and I'm sorry that I'm just not real accurate right now. I think this was plus 38. The front wheel was a lot less important. It is fine. This was at the plus 38 was excellent, and it works out really, really well. Let me discuss now too something that threw me for a loop that I want to show you. And I just don't know about wheels in general today that are coming out like this. But let me tilt my camera up just a little bit. Okay, so we have to put air in right here. Plus, which threw me kind of for a loop. I mean, I know what it's for now, but there's one. Let me see if I can get the camera on it. One right back. Not shake it, one back right there. So there's 2. So they didn't send me with these wheels what am I trying to say? Gosh, I'm having a brain fart, but a nipple air inlet. I can't even think about what it's called right this minute. But so I had to go out, and they gave me a rubber one that had some little chrome plating on it. A little piece that came off, and so I went and didn't like that, so I went and bought this. This is straight into the wheel, and this is where I air my tire up, because obviously I can get to it the easiest. The one up here on the top is on the other side of the wheel, and let me get my camera in there so we can see it. You just have to read up. That's basically for putting nitrogen in the tire and leveling out the nitrogen to come in. Down here the air comes out here, so they purge that system of regular air and add the nitrogen through the top one right there, or through the back one, sorry. So yeah, I had to go buy, and I bought this one. This is a chrome, all metal, and then up here at the top was my TPMS sensors. I bought those for these wheels because I have 2 sets of wheels and tires, and so I want to be able to swap them out at a moment's notice for road trips, and not take these Nitto NT555 R2s on road trips and intentionally just wear them down, kind of use those around the city. But yeah, so. And then my cap is really, really cool. I discussed that in one of my videos. It had a rubber O-ring on it, and so it fits in, and that rubber O-ring helps that to fit in there, and that's kind of like a milled out piece of aluminum. Pretty cool. And yeah, so let me see what else I can cover real quick. I just want to mention, one thing that's a really big concern going with aftermarket wheels, and you getting the wheels that have the valve stem on the outside and the valve stem on the opposite side, but on the inside of the wheel, is a big deal, because that's the TPMS sensor, and that is pretty set on where that is positioned and how far that sticks out, just like that. So that almost rubbed on my suspension components. Very, very close, like maybe 5 millimeters, 5 to 10 millimeters, very short distance. So, and I do not have the big brakes, so these are the smaller brakes. So that is a major concern. That almost really caught me negatively. It hits right there on the let me get my fingers. It hits right there on that piece right there. I mean, it's really, really close. And the same thing on the back of the wheel, but I don't have a light on there to illuminate that, but it almost hits on the brake. So, man, there's a lot that goes into buying aftermarket wheels that will potentially screw you. A lot that goes into that. So I just thought I would add that to this video. I'm happy with the wheels, bar me spending $325 to rotate, mount and balance, and mount and balance 8 of these wheels and tires, because I had to redo 2 sets of wheels to make them, good and ready to go. So that, like I said, so I have 2 sets, but quite expensive, $325. Just kind of, it just kind of gets to me. It's kind of like thrown out the window, but it has a purpose. You got to get them mounted and balanced. But let's see. Car looks pretty good. Thought I'd just bring it up here and show people, because I had talked about wheels so much and getting wheels, so I just wanted to make a dedicated video towards the wheels and how I like them. They're pretty wide in the rear. There's my MagnaFlow chrome catback exhaust. Love that exhaust. Sounds great, not obnoxious. Super good exhaust. Catback exhaust system. Also too, you can see, if I get in close here out of the sun, you can see my drilled and slotted R1 rotors. See those in there? Those are the Geomet rotors. I mean, they're really, really good with the R1 carbon pads. Man, I really like those too. Or the graphite carbon pads, or whatever they call them, the R1 pads. So really like them, except a lot of excessive brake dust and a little bit of chatter when you're at a light and you let your foot off the brake just to creep forward, kind of gets a groan. And that's probably, again, because I discussed that of the slots in there, the aggressive slots. And they're also tapered. The holes are chamfered, so less prone to cracking. You see these wheels, I didn't even tell you what the wheels were. I've made videos on them. They're the Verde flow formed wheels. And the rear was 25.5 pounds per the 10-inch width, and the fronts were just under 25 pounds, and they're 8.5. So the wheels that came on the car were about 30 pounds, and they're the 8.5 black tinted chrome infinity wheels, which I extremely like them a lot. They're delicate, and that's one of the reasons, one of the small reasons why I also too wanted just to put some different wheels on there. The finish on them is delicate. So these are more of a brushed aluminum, kind of a painted finish, and kind of very, very unique. I don't know if I can show you. So they kind of have like a faux finish to them. Faux finish is in, you just have to look up what faux finish means in the painting world. But yeah, I'm extremely happy with them. They're going to give me a lot more traction, at least the rears, and the car's just handling wonderful and great. So, all right, I appreciate you tuning in and checking out my wheels. I think everything looks good and it's gone smoothly so far. Thanks for checking out my video. Catch me on future videos. Like and subscribe, if you enjoyed my content or have looked at previous content and enjoyed that. And I'll just try to keep making videos. Sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, as I mentioned in my last one. Just videos are tough to make. It's not just tough making content, but it's just putting everything together. Saying the right thing and making sense. It's just tough sometimes. I got this hanging in front of me. But again, thank you for checking this out, and and I'll catch you on the next video.